Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we get started today, I should probably mention why I'm wearing this hood. One, I'm cold, and this is warm. And two, um, I I mentioned that I'm autistic, and one of the things that comes along with that is sensory seeking behaviors, which means that there are certain sensory inputs that I like. One of the ones that I like is compression, and right now this is compressing my face, and the material is very soft, so I like that, and so it's very comforting, and so I'm wearing the hood. So that's that. Okay, let's get down to business. Um, Today's video is going to be on the impact of testosterone on me psychologically and socially. So, first thing I will say is that the first thing I noticed when I started testosterone was that my mood really evened out. Um, Before I started T, and I should mention that from here on out I might switch between saying the word testosterone and using the letter T. And if I say T, unless I specify otherwise, I'm talking about testosterone, just so you know. So before I started T, I had really severe mood swings. Part of that was because I have a mood disorder, and the other part of that is because um, estrogen be crazy, yo. I mean, just mood swings everywhere. People, I'm sure there are many of you out there who know about this. It's really difficult. So my mood really sort of evened out when I think about a month and a half on testosterone. I started noticing that my mood evened out, and I was really excited about that. I was like, yeah, this is what it's like to have a stable mood. But then I noticed that not only had my mood evened out, I thought it was going to even out and have, a little bit of ebb and flow, but it seemed to really sort of flatten. Um, I was not expecting that because I went from being overly emotional and being drowned in emotions 24/7, it seemed, to literally having to go hunt for my emotions. Being, every day waking up and not really feeling like I knew what my emotions were. So that was a huge psychological shift. On the one hand, it was great that they weren't constantly pressing in on me. On the other hand, it was very, very quiet and lonely without those emotions there. So I really had to adjust to that. And actually, I'm uh, still adjusting to that, what I call new normal for me. Um, uh, the other thing is that I still, I identify as male now, and I'm finding that more than I realized, I really have to wrestle with my perception of what that means. So, I'm wrestling quite a bit with gender stereotypes, especially related to how I express emotions, even the words that I use and how those convey emotions. And before everybody kind of jumps in with like, you don't have to care about what other people think. Screw them. Screw what other people think. Yeah, I get it. Okay, I know. I get it. Right? But let's be honest. It's easier to say that than it is to do that. And I think you all know that. So let's not even go there right now. It is something that I, as a trans male, have to struggle with because I'm still finding my space, still finding my footing here. So, to give you an example of something I was really difficult for me. One day I was talking to a friend and he was asking me how it was going, how the transition was going, and I was telling him that I'd had a really rough day with being misgendered all day, and he proceeded to try to be helpful and was telling me, if you get misgendered, don't take it personally. Everybody's um, still trying to get used to calling you Lex and using male pronouns, and those are things that I get. And so, he proceeded to dispense more and more advice. And partway through his advice dispensing, I just was like, okay, can you not give me advice? I don't really need advice. I just need you to listen. And he said to me, well, guys like to fix things. So if you want me to treat you like a woman, I can listen to you. And I was just like, what are you even saying? How could you say that? And I'm not gonna get into specifics, but about who it is, but he knows who he is, so that's all that matters. And I was just like, that wow, okay, that so public service announcement, everyone ever, don't do that. If somebody tells you that they need you to listen, don't look at them and say, well, you're a guy, and guys don't need people to listen to them, so I'm not going to do that. Now, it sounds like that should go without saying, but apparently it doesn't go without saying, because apparently he didn't know that. So I thought I'd say it for everyone's benefit. Don't do it. You have every right to say, gee, I don't know what to do here. You have every right to say, I don't know if I can do that, but you don't have any right to make the person who asked you for that feel like they're wrong for asking you for it because of their gender. No, don't do it. Um, um, One other thing that I noticed that was really different was I used to really struggle. Actually, I still really do struggle with what's called executive functioning, and this is more to do with this has a lot to do with my autism. Executive functioning is the ability to make and follow through with plans, and it's any kind of planning. So, social planning, um, appointments, and stuff like that. Like I said, I still struggle with that. But one thing that I noticed when I started testosterone is because I'm the one who said I want to do this, I need to do this, and I initiated this process. My ability to follow through on those appointments, and oh my goodness, there were a lot of them, because not only were there the appointments that everyone who takes testosterone, actually I shouldn't say everyone, because I don't know if everyone who takes testosterone has to go through it. I think um, if you have a doctor who is under certain guidelines, then they have to. Anyway, I won't get into that here. That's for another discussion. But anyway, so I had the regular appointments that a lot of people have to go through to get on testosterone, checking the blood work, the complete physical, um, signing consent, all of those things. And a lot of that was separate appointments for some crazy reason. I really wish they had just done it all at once. So blood work and all that stuff. I had those appointments, and then I had separate appointments because I had to go and meet with my cerebral palsy doctor to make sure that everything was on board there. Uh, they didn't really know a whole lot about the impact of testosterone on folks with cerebral palsy because nobody's really done data on that. But anyway, so I had to go to those appointments, and all told, it was like 9 or 10 appointments back to back, so like every week or every other week. And normally that would just, I would have just, I would have maybe gone to two and then just been like, I can't do this anymore because I would have just been um, so burnt out. But I noticed that my motivation to do this was a lot higher because I had started the process, and it's something that I wanted. So that was a huge change. But I'm realizing now what it didn't stop after all of that was done. Like it didn't stop after I got testosterone. That momentum from that motivation is still going, and I'm not really sure what's driving it, except maybe that I feel more um, at peace and at ease, and so it's kind of like, yeah, take on the world. But I really, really I'm enjoying that part of this process very much. because I'm having the energy to live my life most of the time, whereas that wasn't always the case. The energy and the motivation. Um, uh, but the biggest and most important change actually started before I was on testosterone, and that's that. When I first admitted to myself that um, that I'm a male, I started to see myself differently. And I think I would say that I started to see myself as a person because I actually acknowledged that it was okay to be me. Whereas before, um, the dialogue in my head was either it's not okay to be me, or I don't even know who I am, or I don't even know if I'm human. That's a whole other video for a whole other day. But there was this period of my life where I questioned my very humanity, for various reasons. And with this transition, the psychological shift was tremendous. I was able to look at myself in the mirror, and I was able to say self-affirming words to, like, that is one handsome guy. That is one awesome guy. And I still, every day, am able to look at myself in the mirror and say those things. And I actually make a habit of doing it because I know now how important that is. And so I guess what I want to say before I end here is that no matter what you're going through, I hope uh, that you are able to find a way to affirm who you are, whether it's looking at yourself in the mirror and saying self-affirming phrases, um, whatever it is. I hope you're able to look in the mirror and affirm who you are. And again, I hope that by making these videos, I hope that I connect with you. I hope that something that I say connects with you. And I want you all to know out there that whoever you are, we don't know each other, but I consider myself to be very much connected to all of humanity. And so, even as I'm going through this journey, and I'm rooting for myself, I'm rooting for you too, whether I know you or not. So, stay strong. We can do this. Peace.